Hello, I am Samantha. I greet you from Fresh Hope Espanol, and now I want to talk about a very important topic, and it is this truth, that mental health struggles are not a punishment from God. I know that many times, in the midst of our pain, we might ask ourselves, could it be that God is punishing me? But we want to assure you that this is not the heart of God. I remember when I was in the worst moments, amidst the confusion, the symptoms, the opinions from people close and distant who also had opinions, amidst the so much information and everything I felt and thought. I remember the thought entered my head, life has set a trap for me. And then that toxic thought advanced to say, God is punishing me. But the Lord was faithful, as He always has been and is, and little by little, He changed my toxic thinking by showing me the truth of His Word. What does His Word say? Well, we live in a fallen world where sin, brokenness, and illness affect us all. John 16:33. Jesus said, "In the world you will have tribulation." And mental health challenges are part of this brokenness, but they are not the result of God's punishment. In fact, if we remember our precious gospel, it is based on the truth that Jesus Himself, being God, bore the punishment for our peace on His shoulders. He already paid. The punishment that was meant for us fell on Him. Isaiah says, "The punishment for our peace was upon Him, and by His wounds we were healed." And that includes our mental health. The heart of God is full of grace and mercy. Psalm 103 says that the Lord is full, is compassionate, is full of grace, slow to anger, and great in mercy. And that also applies to our mental health challenges. He is not angry with us. If you are a child of God, He loves you deeply and wants to walk with you through your pain. There is a type of thought known as intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts occur more commonly in cases where there is a certain level of obsessive-compulsive disorder. And this type of thoughts are recurrent, sticky, insistent, horrible thoughts. I had a component of obsessive-compulsive disorder that, in my case, as I have already mentioned, manifested with thoughts that I could harm my children, and I lived tormented, tortured, afraid of myself because of those thoughts, with guilt. So, when I learned that it was a neurotransmitter imbalance in my brain that produced those distorted thoughts, and that it wasn't really me agreeing with the thoughts, I was free. There is a type of intrusive thought that is very common, which has to do with the relationship with God. They sometimes call it religious OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, with the theme that the person cannot stop saying ugly thoughts against God in their mind, saying blasphemies and then feeling guilty, feeling condemned, and feeling punished. I have seen time and again people with tears in their eyes tell me, "I love the Lord. I don't know why I can't stop having those thoughts." If it has happened to you, you are not alone. And it is also not a coincidence that you are watching this video. The Lord is with you, and it is worth having a medical consultation as soon as possible to evaluate if it is a hormonal or neurotransmitter imbalance. But the truth of the Word remains. He loves you deeply. That is not a punishment. If we look at the life of Jesus here on earth, He showed compassion to all who were sad, wounded. He never condemned the sick, the brokenhearted. He approached them. Jesus was known when he walked here on earth as a friend of sinners. And so, in our struggles, in our sorrows, in our illnesses, even if we have made mistakes, the blood of Christ is more than enough and cleanses us from all sin. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says that His grace is more than sufficient for us. Even in our weaknesses, His power is perfected in our weakness. So, if today you feel weak, you feel overwhelmed, remember that the grace of God is stronger and more than enough. Draw near to Jesus. Be honest with Him. Ask for forgiveness for your sins, that He may cover your whole life with His precious blood. Thank Him, because the punishment for our peace was upon Him, and by His wounds we were healed. Thank you for joining me for another video. God bless you.